What's the motherfucking deal? Back in action, man. As we come to the close to the finale of this breaking down of the formation of the earth and the birth of the sun. And thus far, I've pretty much already demonstrated what the title implies or whatever, or what the title refers to, just many different ways. And I just done it, just basically demonstrated many different mythological explanations of it, basically to show you a just to give you examples of how our ancestors, or you could say us, in a past life or in the past, basically spoke through signs and symbols and used these signs and symbols to demonstrate not only the creation of everything around us, including ourselves, but or ourselves as quote unquote humans or whatever, but these things also have psychological ramifications as well. So which I discuss in some other videos outside of this series right here, but coming to a close, probably got about 2 or 3 more videos left I'm gonna do in regards to this subject right here. And then I think I think I will periodically go back to certain videos within this series and go in a little bit more detail in regards to whatever I was dealing with in that particular video. You know, that'll be just random. That'll be random here and there. You know, right now the main thing is just getting this out, so I can get back to speaking on other things and or whatnot. So in these last few videos of this series, what I'm gonna deal with is the Osirian drama, and show you how the Osirian drama relates to the creation of the universe or whatever. A lot of things I've already touched on in regards to the Osirian drama within these other videos, but that was within the midst of a whole lot of other things as well. This time, these last few videos, I want to focus particularly with the Osirian drama, and I might throw a couple of extra gemstones in there from areas outside of that, but just like well, I'll wait till we get done. Why spoil it? So we'll get to it. Now, state again, not familiar with the oh yeah, another thing too. It's a lot of I'm not going too much of a detail with certain things in these last couple videos because so many words. If you just now things that I've already covered, I pretty much covered all the primary or most important things in regards to this subject. So if you just, you know, the details that I do leave out or whatever, you'll be able to go and find in videos within this series previous to this one right here. You should be not saying, you might pull up on this video first and look at this one first, but you should, you'd have to be crazy not to go and look at the 12 I did before this one right here. So you know, the most important part of these series, these last few videos right here, is just to basically shine light and make a correspondence between the Osirian myth in the creation myth or the creation story. So we're gonna get it on. Now, also got Osiris. Let's line our characters up. We got Osiris, we got Isis, we got Set, we got Heru, we got Anubis, we got Tahuti, and that's what we'll be dealing with. And you got Neptune as well. So those are the characters we'll be dealing with. Now the story goes, you have Osiris or Osar. Osar, Lord of the Perfect Black, Lord of the Underworld. You have the twin brother by the name of Set or Soot. Soot throws the party, invites Osiris or whatever, a banquet I should say. And when Osiris he goes to the banquet or whatever, and there's this chest or box, coffin or whatever that that they have that they have they're holding a contest where you can win this chest or whatever. Whoever fits in the best, or whoever fits the coffin best, or the chest best, the chest of Osiris, they basically win the chest. Now the whole while this was trickery. Osiris, the chest was built for Osiris, so when Osiris got into it, of course he fit in it perfectly. They shut him in the chest, threw the chest in the river. The river took the chest into the ocean, and from the ocean, the chest washed up on sea. Washed up on land. And when it washed up on land, a mighty tree grew around it. The tree was cut down and used as a pillar in the palace of a king within this strange land. So Isis, or Set, who's the husband of Osar, she goes out looking for her husband and finally reclaims the body. But then somehow, some way, Set gets hold of the body again, chops it up into 14 pieces, and scatters it abroad the ocean or whatever. And long story short, Set, along with the help of Tahuti, Thought or Hermes or whatever, rediscovers the body, or rediscovers all the body parts except for the phallus or the penis, and so she puts the body back together and she recreates the penis out of gold. This resurrects Osiris. Osiris then impregnates her with Heru, and after that he goes on to live in heaven to be the judge of heaven or whatever. Heru is born, Horus, he's born, he comes back, goes to war with Set and get revenge for his father or whatever. They battle. Set puts out his eye, he rips off Set's testicles. He gets his sight back and then defeats Set. Puts Set behind him. That's where you get the phrase Satan get behind me. Because actually Heru and Set, they're two different sides of the same thing or whatever. Heru is the light, Set is the dark. Heru would be like the conscious mind, Set would be the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of you that connects you to the collective unconscious or whatever. The wilderness, the wildness. This is why your wild thoughts, all those crazy thoughts that be in the back of your head, that's what that is. And you need the Heru, or the conscious mind, to be in the lead and keep those thoughts in check so that you won't be moving off of impulse and or whatnot. That's a whole nother, that's a psychological aspect of it. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I just want to throw that in there real quick. And so he redeemed, you know, he defeats Seth or whatever, put him in his place. They, you know, they Hermes or Tahuti establishes an equilibrium between the two or whatnot. So now let's get into it. Over here, now I want you to and I'm gonna eventually redo all these. So by the time I start going back and just randomly picking different parts I want to go back over, I have better drawings or whatnot, or better illustrations. But for right now, I just need you to use your imagination with me. So this represents, you have two sides of a coin. This is a bird's eye view. We'll just say the vastness of space or the darkness of space. This is the bird's eye view. Now actually all this would be black right here or whatever. So just imagine all this is black, but the difference between the outer and the circle is the closer you get to the circle, the more concentrated the blackness is. So you have the, just for lack of a better way of saying, the scattered darkness out here, and then when you get up in here, it starts to get more and more concentrated. So you get this small, minute little pocket, little hole, or this little circle of darkness or whatnot, which is a vacuum. So this is the top. Now, actually, that's why I said this right here would actually, instead of this square being light, this would actually all be darkness. I just did this to give you basically this would be, if you was looking at the darkness from a bird's eye view, and you can see this, but we was to see, pierce through the veil of darkness that was out here, you would see this light. But in our actuality, this would be the bottom of that coin. And all this would be light, just like all this would be darkness. All this would be light. And the light would come from out here, filter in to the circle. First step of concentration. Then it'll all concentrate into from the circumference all the way into this middle point, where it would go through that hole and come back up here through the top and flood all the darkness with light or whatnot. So give me a pointing stick around this motherfucker, pencil. So yeah. Now, Osiris is called the Lord of the Underworld. He also represents the subconscious mind, but he would be Osiris would be the light within the subconscious mind. Soot or Set would be the subconscious mind minus the guidance of the light, or minus the light. He'd be total blackness, really. But he, you know, but at the same time, Soot represents the he's the darkness. He has the light. It's light inside the darkness, but it's so black and hidden. That's the point of that's also what it represents too. But Soot in a negative aspect, or an extreme version, would be the darkness minus the light, or the subconscious mind. So the thoughts that exist within the darkness of your subconscious mind would be Osiris. These are scattered thoughts. In order to bring these thoughts into fruition, you have to concentrate these thoughts, synthesize the scattered thoughts within the subconscious mind, concentrate, bring them forth through the conscious mind, and then from the conscious mind, you manifest them into a reality or physical reality or whatever, which is how the so basically when you look at the creation of the world, when you're looking at the creation of the universe, what you're looking at is the grand mind, the macrocosmic mind at work, which is what I've been breaking down these past 12 videos up until now. So this would be like the thoughts sit under or in the subconscious mind. This would be the subconscious mind with these thoughts or this light beneath it. That's why it's called the subconscious mind. It's the consciousness that sits below. So this point right here, which is the most potent part, is the darkness with the dot of light inside of it. Now, in all actuality, these are all the thoughts that it's going to take to manifest everything that we see now in this physical reality into existence. But everything we see now is all concentrated in this point right here. Past, present, and future, where it all sits right here. So, this is Osiris. These are the thoughts, even before we go into the process. Even all this down here is a oneness. You can look at this as a Osiris sit in the casket as well. The darkness being the casket, he's being in or under the lid or whatever. So, what's going to happen is you have Shu, which represents the power, the whirlwind power, air. The darkness or the dark, once all the light filters in from the outside and starts to concentrate towards the center, it causes the spear to start spinning. The more and more it spins, oh yeah, let me say that too. This is melanin. This is the dark waters of noon or whatever. It's melanin. This is melanin. It's melanin. It's black water, dark water. So you have the melanin, which would be like, think of it as like black sand, and then you have the moistness of the water, so it'd be like a melanin soup, a goop, or whatever. Or just imagine oil or whatnot. Just imagine how oil, oil is melanin or whatever. So just if you need an idea of how melanin works, the texture of melanin, just think about oil or whatever, but just a little bit more liquid or liquefied or whatever. So what's going to happen is that spinning causes the whirlwind. The whirlwind would be right here, concentrated in the center. So this whirlwind or this tornado, what's going to happen is it's going to suck this right here up into the darkness or whatever. So you'll have this light surrounded by a cluster of darkness. The darkness is what's going to protect the light when it goes up here, because when it goes up here, it's dealing with the wild wrath of the tornado and the milky or the dark waters. So in order for the water not to put the light out, it's protected by its own cluster of melanin or whatever, or its little boat. So when this valve opens up due to the whirlwind sucking it up, and it travels through this path, these aren't there yet, while it's still fixated right here. When this which this would be the pineal gland, when or the sperm, because this would have its 7 just like this would be have 7 concentrated spears of light under it or whatever. This would be the head of the sperm. This would be the tail or whatever. So when this finally shoots up and it makes its way to the top right here, as it's going up, it's leaving behind these 7 pockets, or these 7 shrines, or these 7 openings. So it's carving out these. If you read Ancient Egypt Light of the World, you hear about there's one section in there where it says Anubis carved out 7 shrines for the 7 Elohim spirits, or the 7 Ali spirits, or whatever. This is what they're referring to when they say that. So when this shoots up, it leaves behind these 7 pockets. So basically, it builds these 7 mansions, or these 7 homes or whatever, for these 7 spheres of light, which are about to imitate this center point. So same way you have this dark melanin cluster right here, the pineal gland or whatnot, apt, the hippopotamus goddess Apt, they use her to represent this right here, because the belly of the hippopotamus is reminiscent of a pregnant woman's womb. So looking at it from the top, you'll see this, but then when you look at it from the side, you see the hump, or the belly, or whatever. So this shoots up here, boom, fixates itself at the top, which this would be Star Sirius, Isis, Neptune, Isis, Osiris, or whatnot, creates these 7 pockets. So the first spear of light to travel through that, to follow behind Anubis, because just Anubis is then that's another thing about these characters. They represent not only physical things, but they represent actual activity or action. So Anubis, being the guide dog, Anubis would be represented by the path itself. When you take your dog out hunting, what the dog does is you have the dog on a leash in front of you, sniffing, trying to show you what points to you, show you where the food at or whatever. Or he's sniffing to get a scent of where you need to be going to try to hunt your shit down there. Same thing with this. Anubis traveling up, creating a path. That's why when you read a serious mystery by what's my guy name? Robert Cooper? No. What is Serious Mystery? Anyway, when you read the book Serious Mystery, he tells you in there in so many words that one of the things that Anubis represent, or is symbolic of, is the path or the orbit itself. So the orbit, so Earth's orbit around the sun, the path that the Earth follows around the sun to start, when it leaves from the starting point and makes it back to the start point, the path itself or the orbit itself would be Anubis or whatever. Just like this path right here would be representative of Anubis or whatnot. So this spear of light would pass through, when this shoots up, the light is traveling up through the middle, and then the melanated waters that's up here, they fall through the center from the top and come down this way. And that first reaction between the light going up and that melanin coming down creates an ash, and that ash, when this goes up, that first melanin, that first cluster of melanin, because like you got the 7 spears of light that comes through here, you're gonna have 7 spears of melanin mounds that come down this way. So when that first one come down, it's gonna come down on a stem, which will be the spine or the backbone of the earth. Just like you have a backbone, or when the sperm is shot inside of the woman and impregnates the egg, the head of the sperm has a black dot in it. That black dot, that's deposited within the egg, becomes the pineal gland. And then as the fetus develops, the spine, the pineal gland takes on the pineal gland is it's like in the shape of a lima bean, and the spine unfolds from out of the pineal gland, and then the rest of the body starts to form around the spine or whatever. So, but at the beginning, you would have a spine with a black globe on the top, or a black ball. That's where the whole concept of the magic wand comes from. You see a wand with a globe on the top of it, that's symbolic of the spine and the pineal gland, the sacred antenna, the antenna. That'll go up, melanin to come down. So you have light that goes straight through the center, and then you have light that pours into the circumference. So you have the leading light, or the most important, or everything is one, but the most potent form of the light goes straight through the middle and encapsulates itself within these 7 spears or whatever. And then this right here, we get into that later, but the light that comes up and goes out to the circumference comes through here and floods all this with light or whatever, floods the darkness with light. When you read the Bible and it speaks about Jesus walking on water or whatever, Jesus is symbolic of the light. The water is what I was just telling you about, the dark melanated water. So when it comes to that center and it floods the darkness, or coats or rides over the darkness, it's walking on the water. So anyway, let's get back to the Osirian thing. So boom, that goes up. Yeah, melanin clusters. The melanin clusters the same way you got the light that goes through the center. You have melanin that comes through the center and falls down here, but it comes down on a spine. So this spear of light will come up, occupy this spot. The second, this one right here would occupy this spot when it comes up. This one would occupy the third one up here. This one would occupy this one. This one would occupy this one. That one would occupy that one, and this one would occupy that one. And then you would have the melanin mounds coming down on the spine, and but it's a different process. When the light travels from here and passes through the threshold, it goes straight to the top. So everything that's coming from down here goes to the furthest part up top. But when the melanin is coming down this way, it's pushing down. So when the first ball of melanin that comes down on that stem, it'll come down and stop right here. And then when that light goes up to occupy this space, another melanin ball will come down this way, but it's coming on the spine. So that spine would push the one that would be the melanin ball that would be right here down, and then the new one would be where that one was right at. So you would have the stem, melanin, then another one will come down, push that down. So then you'd have 3 or whatever, and so on and so forth. Now, when these are coming down, when the melanin balls are coming down, they're meeting with light that's going up. So the light that's coming up, the most potent form of the light is passing through the threshold and occupying these spots. But even as they pass through there, the light is still coating those melanin balls that's coming down this way. So those melanin mounds, which are going to eventually be chakras, as each one comes down, they get coated with sparkles or particles of light. So eventually what you end up having is I gotta excuse my ghetto style. I know we in the year 2022, y'all used to PowerPoints and all that fancy stuff. I ain't able at the time, so I like my drawings anyway though. Something special about them, but I imagine one day I'll be able to give me a nice little computer and do this in a computer generated fashion or whatever, and maybe do it all over again. Just do it in a fancy smancy way. But so what you'll end up having is this right here when it's all said and done. You have your 7 up here, and you have your 7 up here. Now up here it'll be more of an ethereal, spiritual, ghostly type of vibe, and down here will be more of a this is the underworld. This is a mental. A mental, A-M-E-N, means the hidden. Just like when you put your hands together and say amen, and you put the T-A to it, ta, a menta, ta means land. A menta is the hidden land. Why is it the hidden land? Because this top is the surface, this is the underground, it's hidden in the underground or whatever. The underworld, that's why Osirian is called Lord of the Underworld. And just like you have those 7 melanin clusters that come down here, you have melanin that's spilling in the sides and coming through the sides, and as each one of those melanin clusters push down to create the spine, you have melanin come through the sides pushing out this way to create the mound around the spine. And just as these coming down are being introduced to light that's going up, same thing with the sides. So you have the 7 melanin clusters with particles of light scattered over the back of them, and you would have light scattered throughout all this dark melanin down here. That's why you have gold and all your precious metals are found where? Underground. When you dealing with certain stones or whatever, you know, all your little crystal gadgets and shit that you're putting on your necklaces and your glasses and all that, each one of them has a chakra that they pertain to. So all the stones that pertain to the crown chakra will be found, and I guess the area will be relevant to this, and so on and so forth down there. So when you take it back to the Osirian drama, it says that Osiris gets into the casket, right? Or whatever. Or the chest. What's the chest? Well, same way I told you that this right here, or we'll take it back just to keep the confusion down. Same way I told you that the pineal gland departs from the center and shoots up. After it shoots up, light starts spilling through there. Light starts spilling out to the circumference. You got this. We have 5 major centers, with this one being the head, the leader. So this one right here would shoot up to form itself right here, or to place itself right here. That's one. Then you would have another one But all this is simultaneous. So when this one shoot up and go up here, you have another one that shoots this way and another one that shoots this way, and you're gonna have one shooting straight ahead and one shooting towards us. AKA this would be the center coming up this way. Then you'd have another one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With this one being the head or whatever. So the same way that Star Series, or this one right here, is the head of these 7 right here. You have 7 on each of these paths right here, with 1, 2, 3, 4 with a head. So you would have the center, and you'd have 7 chakras or 7 spears, and then at the edge of each one you have that's why the 4 cardinal points of the zodiac are so significant or whatever. Each one of these would have a head at the edge or whatever. So that's where you get your 5 points from or whatnot. When you look at the Baphomet, the goat sign, the goat star, whatever, that's what that is alluding to. You have but it would be 1, 2, that's the horns, 3, 4, and then the mouth or the bottom, 5 or whatever. So the reason he fits in the coffin so perfect is because they're both spears. Like I told you, this the bottom, this the top. So when all the light concentrates to the center and finds its way through the center and comes up here and flood the circumference, it's gonna flood it perfect because it's the counterpart. It's just the bottom. It's just the different side of the coin. So when all that light comes through that center and floods the circumference up all the way to the outer circumference, the 7th spear, creating this on the top or whatever, or the surface. This is Osiris sitting in the coffin or whatever. They say he was through in the river. This is the river. This would be this whole thing basically would be, but more so this one right here, because this is where the light is being thrown into. But this is the river. This would be the ocean or whatever. Remember they said he was so you gotta look at the genius of how our ancestors dealt with mythology and symbolism. See, they in the story, what did it say? It said he was put in a river, or the casket was thrown in a river, and the river floated the chest into the ocean, and then from the ocean it washed up on land. That's just so they break it down to you in a chronological order, but actually each aspect of the order is just referring to different parts of the creation. So the river part would be this right here. That's the chest being thrown into the river, because what we have right here, as opposed to down here where the light is scattered on top of these fixated, and like I said, up here it's more ethereal or more etheric or spiritual. So when you be looking at this, it'll be like looking at kind of like a ghost or whatever. But down here, everything is that's why you get when they tell you about Buddha resting under the tree, the rest symbolizes the lack of motion, or the physicality, or the more materialistic or physical aspect of creation. So everything is down here, those melanin, while up here is watery, etheric, spiritual, ghostly looking. Down here it's more physical, rocks or whatnot, with gold light sparkle or spread on top of each one of these melanin balls or whatever. But while these are more active, down here everything is more passive, stiff, and fixated. That's the soot aspect of it. So when we talk about soot, one of the things that soot is representative of is fixation, passivity. That's why in the hieroglyphs he's represented by the head of the ass, because the ass is stubborn. The donkey is a stubborn animal. The stubbornness of the donkey is used as symbolism to physical reality, because the more and more physical something is, the less active it is. So when you look at smoke, or you look at steam rising from a pot of boiling water, you see the steam is real ethical and moving or whatever. But if you just take that same water and freeze it, it'll be froze and stiff and fixated. And less, the difference between steam and ice is moving, steam is moving, but the ice is moving so slow that it seems like it's not moving. It's fixated or whatever. While the steam is, the molecules are more active, so you can see the actual movement. And that's why it's smoking and all that or whatever. So that's why this represents the lambs of the underworld. Even though Osiris is the lord of the underworld, that the Soot Typhon aspect of it would be, because another thing that Soot represents is separateness or whatever. That's why he splits the body up. So you have, that's why your light particles down here are spread apart or split up, as opposed to up here where the light is concentrated within the center of the melanin clusters or whatever. That's why when you're thinking, or you trying to figure something out, or you trying to bring something into fruition, you concentrate your thoughts. The concentration, when they tell you to concentrate and focus is bringing what you want or whatever you're thinking about. It's blocking everything that doesn't really pertain to that out, and everything that you're trying to deal with, you're focusing in on it with laser point accuracy, or to the best of your ability. You're trying to concentrate. This is the concentration. The light is concentrated in the center of each one of these, as opposed to down here where it's all scatterbrained or widely scattered across all the melanin or whatever on the top or whatever. So